for coming out. We've got a lot of exciting things. First, I'd just like to thank our ownership group in the city for providing us with some incredible changes. This facility that we have is world class. Players are already talking about all the things that we can do in it, and all the special things that will be provided for all the players and coaches. But we're thankful for all of it, and even in our arena, all the new changes there, pretty incredible. To be quite honest, I didn't think it was ever going to finish up. I see the progress throughout the summer, and there's just no way. But give credit to all the workers and all the leadership to be able to finish it in time, and we're thankful. We're looking forward to having training camp here in DC.
We'll open up for questions now. The mic, right to the mic, this to you.
Scott, how you doing today? This morning you spoke about Dwight Howard having some type of back injury, or?
Yeah, he's his back is sore the last couple of days. He just came into town. I think it was either Thursday night or Friday. Nothing appeared to be serious. So we're just going to be very careful. It's the first day of training camp tomorrow. Not sure if he will practice tomorrow, but it's just going to list him as day to day. We're in no rush. We have that's what training camp. You have all 3 weeks to get ready for the first game. So we're excited. He looks great. He told me he's 262 pounds and 6.3% body fat, and it's pretty impressive. But like I said, it's day to day, and we'll see how he feels, tomorrow.
Scott, do you have any idea how he got that? Is this something from last season or something he did during the off season while training?
I think it's just part of working out. Our guys, not only Dwight, all of our guys, they train hard all summer to prepare for the long season ahead, and a lot of times that happens. Unfortunately, well, the good part is it happened now, so we can, try to we'd be able to manage it and get them ready for the season. But like I said, right now it's nothing to be overly concerned. It's just, he said it's a little sore. Talked to him this morning. He said it feels much better today than it did yesterday. So that's all good progress, and we'll see how he feels tomorrow before we make that decision. But we're not going to rush him to get back.
Scott, welcome back.
Thank you.
Other than Dwight, is everyone else feeling good? And how has Otto come back from the procedure he had during the playoffs? Yeah,
Otto missing during games in the playoffs, the last game, it's always tough. But he had to take care of his situation, and he feels great. Give Otto and the staff credit. They're diligent in his rehab. He spent a lot of time getting it right, and he's back. He's been on the court, I don't know, the last 6 or 7 weeks now. So he's ready to go. He looks great. He's letting his hair grow out, so it's a good little style for him. It looks good. He looks good. His body feels great. He's been playing well. We're just looking forward to his consistency. He brings that every game, and that's what, as a coach, that's what you like. You can always count on Otto, 14 to 15 points every night.
Hey, Scott, media day, training camp time for optimism. For some teams, maybe the most optimistic part of the whole season. For you coming into this, what has you most optimistic about this team?
Well, I like the new changes. Not only just from our practice side, our arena. Those are great changes, but our team. We've had some great additions. Jeff Green is, I was able to coach him his first 3 years or so. Just what he brings, his professionalism, he's a pro's pro. The coaches always love guys like that, and he fits in with the modern day NBA, where he can guard 1 through 5 with certain fives, and he can put the ball on the floor and shoot threes. And Austin gives us that added spark off the bench, which we need. We haven't really had that experience off the bench. That he's a consistent scorer. He's had a couple of great years back to back. So last year he averaged 15. Then Troy's and Devin. Those are good young players that are going to fight for minutes. So they're going to push our guys in practice. So those, you made a good point. Everybody, all 30 teams, if they don't feel good about today, I don't know when they're going to feel good. So, but I'm optimistic. Our guys are going to blend well together. It might take some time. The new faces, the new players, and Dwight gives us something that we lack. We had trouble rebounding the basketball, whether we played the traditional way or played small. We had trouble rebounding the basketball. That's one thing that he does well. He does it at a high level. If he keeps at this level and plays for a fair number of more years, he's going to be one of the top 3 or 4 in the league's history of rebounding the ball.
Coach, how will the leadership of All-Stars John Wall and Bradley Beal impact the depth that you were just referring to this season?
It's important that John and Brad continue their growth, how they lead the group. There's no question that John has been put in this position at a young age. And I think it takes time to be a good leader. And I think the last 2 years he's really developed in that area. He's a terrific player. He's an all-star for a reason. He does a lot of incredible things. But I think the thing I'm excited about his growth in the locker room, that he's really matured into a player that you can really talk to him, and players can ask him about experiences that he's gone through now that he's going into his 8th or 9th year. And Brad's the same way. I think we got a good backcourt that can really do a good job of growing in that area in leadership.
Otto Porter was one of the better standstill shooters in the NBA from three-point last year. Is it a goal to get him more spot-up looks from three?
Well, yeah. If you guys, I know you guys aren't trying to do me any favors here, but if you guys can do me one favor and just yell at him every time he doesn't shoot the ball. Just scream at him and ask him questions about that every time. Otto, why don't you shoot? He needs to shoot more. He passes up 3 or 4 shots a game, and he passes up threes. And I tell him he is green. I can't make it any greener for him. It's green. Shoot the ball every time you get an open shot. Do not hesitate. He's one of the best premier shooters in the league, and we need more threes. We want to shoot more threes this year. We've been trying to do that for 2 years. And we got one of our best shooters passing up shots. It's frustrating, but I love what he does. He's about team, so he's doing the right thing. Always looking for the next play. But to me, sometimes the right thing is taking your best shooter and making sure that he shoots shots. But he's had a great summer, and we're looking forward to him continue to improve his game.
Right here, Scott. You mentioned a little bit about the bench. What are some of your team goals in seeing how the bench can improve for the season?
Well, another added bench, it's with Thomas Sadaransky. He had a great year last year. Unfortunately, he had it with John's injury. But a lot of times, those are like blessings in disguise. But John missing 41 games, Thomas stepped up. I didn't know if we could make the playoffs last year. John has been a big part of our program. And a big part for the right reasons, because he's really good. But with Thomas stepping in, we played some good basketball, and we were able to stay afloat. And we could have even been maybe even higher in the playoff seedings if we lost to a bunch of games down the stretch. But Thomas added to the bench. Kelly is going to be an improved player. He's every year you've seen the improvement in his game. And we expect the same level of improvement this year. The thing that I'm going to challenge Kelly is making sure he is consistent throughout the year. He seems to have the last couple of years had really good starts, and I don't know if the fatigue or whatever it was, but we're going to try to build a game plan that he can stay consistent throughout the year with his energy level and his shooting, and because he brings a lot of versatility to our team.
In your time after the season, you got a chance to self-eval this team. I'm sure there are several areas you want to address, but what's that one thing that you thought, all right, we need to do this in order to accomplish this?
Consistency. There's a reason why the schedule's set for 82 games. That tells every team that you got to come to play that night. I don't think we did it enough. We did it in spurts, and you play in spurts, and you're going to get beat in more nights than you would like. But I think the consistency level, we need to get better. We need to, it's pretty self-explanatory that we didn't do well against teams below 500. And, in contrast, Toronto, I think they were 35-2 against teams below 500, and I think we're 20-15. So that's definitely an area that we want to improve in. We want to be ready for every game, and we got the added bench players can help. You know, we got some versatility off of our bench. We got some versatility with our team where we can play small, we can play traditional, we can play different lineups, and I'm confident in everybody that can help contribute in that area. But we want to defend and play with pace and share the ball. We call it DPS. We want to make sure we defend. We want to be a two-way team. We want to be able to play with speed, because we do have one of the fastest guards in the league. We want to be able to get out in wings and shoot threes, and we want to be able to attack the rim and get to the free throw line. We got one of the best running centers and jumping centers in the league. He plays way above the rim. You can make bad passes, be able to connect those and throw them down for lobs. So those are all the areas that we have to improve in, but that's what training camp's for. We need to build a foundation of playing together and doing that as quickly as we can.
Scott, defensively, where would you say was maybe the number one, number two areas where you guys need to improve, and how do you think that's going to change this year?
We got to be able to guard the ball. There's so many dynamic players in this league, and there's so many great screen and rollers in this league that you got to be able to handle that. There's 80 pick and rolls a game, and there's probably 50 mid pick and rolls a game. We got to do a better job. We did a great job. I think we're top 5 in guarding the three-point line, which is critical nowadays because there's so many threes. But we have to be able to guard the ball better. Our bigs are going to have to do a better job of switching on smaller players, because that's the way not only we play, but every team in the league, switches on defense. So our bigs can guard, and our guards going to have to do a better job of rebounding. John and Brad, they should average 10 rebounds combined together, and they haven't. I don't think they've ever one of the top rebounding backcourts in the league.
Scott, with the improved depth and versatility, how much experimentation do you want to do, especially with lineups this preseason, and could you see that maybe carrying over into the early part of the regular season?
Well, I think it keeps everybody on their toes. One, it's when you have a good team, one, you got to have everybody committed to sacrificing. If they're not committed to sacrificing, then they're going to complain about minutes, complain about shots. We're not going to have success, and we're going to have to figure out how to change that. But right now, everybody's committed to playing together and playing for one another and sacrificing, because we do have a good team. We're pretty deep in all positions. And there's going to be nights where you start and don't get a lot of minutes, and there's going to be nights that you come off the bench and don't get a lot of minutes. But it's all about doing what's right for your teammates, and if we can accomplish that, we're going to have a successful year with the talent base that we have, the bench that we have, and the starters that we have. It's going to take some time. Dwight is going to be obviously a new addition, a new style, what he brings to our team. We never had a guy that can run the floor and jump over the rim, but we're excited about having him.
Scott, one of the topics last year, you mentioned consistency. Team chemistry was also something that came up a bunch, and now on top of it, you guys have added Dwight Howard, who, right or wrong, his reputation is of not always being great for team chemistry. As you look back on last year from your perspective, from your role in helping shape this team's attitude and whatever it may be with regard to team chemistry, what did you think about your own performance, or what do you seek to do, if anything, differently going into this year?
Well, I think it's important to always self-reflect as a coach, as a coaching staff, as an organization, as a player, as a team. And if you do that and you're really fair with that assessment, and you have to find areas to improve. I have to find areas to improve, not only what we do on the court, but off the court. We have to be connected to one another much better. At times we've had some bumpy roads, but all teams are going to have that. But you got to be able to get by it quickly and move on from it, and have an honest dialogue with one another and a respectful dialogue with one another, and move on. And at times, we did, and at times we didn't. So going into this year, that's going to be important. If we're really, truly committed to playing good basketball, we have to be able to do that. And we have to be able to do it consistently. And it just can't be when you feel good or when you have a good game. You have to understand everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play well. But as a teammate, you have to be able to have respect for one another and help each other play well.
Scott, where do you see Brad's development as far as his ball handling skills, as far as being a secondary ball handler and maybe alleviating some of the playmaking from John Wall?
Yeah, it's definitely, that's some of the excitement that I have as a coach, to see players develop, and seeing Brad develop his ball handling, his pick and roll game is fun to see this last 2 years, and he's going to take another step in that area. John is one of the elite point guards in the league and one of the elite players in the league, but we don't want to just have totally John-centric with our team. So having Brad help with some of the playmaking, having Otto, I think he's even stepped up his game a little bit last year when we can give him the ball and have him play pick and roll. I think he can do that more this year. Not that we're going to take away John. We're going to always use John's speed and his playmaking and his ability to find players in tight spots and finish around the rim himself. But I think Brad has improved in a lot of areas, and like same with Otto. I think he passes up too many threes too. I want him to shoot 10 a game. There's Harden, Curry, I think another couple of other guys are shooting 9 and 10 a game, and Brad shot 6.5. We want him to get up to 8 or 9 a game.
Hi, Coach. I'm Brianna with the Angie Morning Show, and I was wondering, there's a lot of talk around the league about mental health, and I was wondering if there were any discussions that you guys have had as a team furthering that and opening the conversation so more people can come forward if they have that.
Well, we definitely will have conversations as a team. One of the things I'm proud to be a part of the NBA. They're leaders in all the sports. We take our players' well-being very serious. We all have things that we have to cope with and deal with, and you should not be ashamed or embarrassed to come forward. And I talk to all of our guys. I want to know about all their how they grew up and things like that, and I can help. And it's important that we always think about all the players' well-being, because it's out there, and I give credit to a lot of guys that come forward. And, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something to, we all can help out and help one another, because we all, you're only here for so long. You want to make the best of it, and as a player, as a coach, you want to do whatever you can to help your teammate.
You mentioned a couple times now just about wanting to Brad taking more threes, Porter taking more threes, and the team in general doing so. What do you guys have to do to actually create those good looks on the perimeter?
Well, you probably get some of the hints that we're going to shoot more threes in practice, but we definitely want to shoot more. Looking back at a lot of our film over the summer, we passed up a lot of threes, so we definitely want to put ourselves in position to generate and create, but we also got to shoot the ones that we have. And I think if we just shoot the ones that we have, that's probably 5 more a game, if not more. And we want to take away those, what some of the guys call the toe jam threes, where your foot's on the line. If you're back another, 3 or 4 inches or a foot, you get an extra point, and it's not going to affect your percentage that much. You're actually going to improve with your adjusted field goal percentage. But we definitely need to really work on it and take the ones that we have available.
When you're talking about shooting more threes in practice, have you ever thought about experimenting with the 4-point line, like the spacing, like what the 76ers are doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it over the last couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks now, where we had in our scrimmages or games or our live 5-on-5, we will add corner threes are worth 4 points, because that's the one that that's a 40% shot for the entire league, and we feel that we get more of those, we can be maybe a 43% corner 3-point shooting team pretty consistently. So, and we take away points off for shooting 17, 18 footers. So hopefully that, and players are competitive. They're going to want to win. They're going to want to put their team in the position to win. So attack the basket for rim shots and attack the basket for kick-out threes is something that we want to do, and we want to be consistent of. I don't necessarily have to put a 4-point line down, but every team's different. I think our guys understand the value of shooting more threes is pretty important.
Scott, you have very specific ideals for the players coming in to this season. I'm wondering, what is it in your mind that you have for Kelly in year 4? throughout your years here, you mostly wanted him to concentrate on defense, but now that he's a little bit older, and again, year 4, very important year, what are some of the ideals that you have for him?
Yeah, the thing, like I said earlier, is consistency, and it's not Kelly. It's a lot of players, not just young players either. But young players always have trouble with being consistent for 82 games. It's a grind, and you play in a college season. You play 30 games, and you have a lot of local games, and you don't have a lot of travel, a lot of long distance travel games. But the consistency with him can not only help him and help us. His offense has improved. I've given him, opportunities to expand his game offensively. At times I question myself, but at times I'm proud that I'm working with him to get him better offensively, because he has improved. And this is his 4th year. This is a big year for him, not only for us but for him individually. But you have to keep it within in the realm of being a team player, and Kelly is a team player. His impact is defensively. His arms go forever. His athleticism is outstanding. His length, like I said, can get him passing lanes, can create a lot of easy opportunities in transition, but he still has to focus on that. But he can be, his goal to me should be one of the elite two-way players in the league, if not one of the best off the bench.
One more question for me. When Dwight is out of practice, who will be your starting five-man marquee for Jan?
Well, we got some options. Jan has had a great summer. This is one of the first summer he hasn't really rehabbed an injury, so give him credit, and with our staff, that he has really played a lot of basketball, and his body looks great, and he's had 3 great weeks in DC with our guys, and so he's obviously a choice. Jason Smith is a choice. His shooting, he didn't shoot the ball well from 3 last year, but he's worked on it all summer long. And Thomas Bryant has that ability. He is another guy that he's a young developing player that is intriguing. The way he runs the floor and his ability to shoot. And then you can also go small with Keith. Definitely Keith has that ability to play small with what we want to do.
Scott, obviously the goal for everybody is to win a championship, but in the past when we would ask players over the years sort of what's the goal for the season, oftentimes they would cite the Eastern Conference Finals. Partly I would imagine because he haven't gotten there. The other part I would imagine is because of LeBron's presence and how it almost felt like inevitable, as it basically was to some degree for the last 8 years, that he is gone. No disrespect to the other contenders, but does it feel different as to what is possible this year?
I mean, it's great. A LeBron-less East. That's a good way to put it. He's had it for 8 years. He's gone. He's gotten a lot of players cut, traded, coaches fired. But it's wide open. But there's still a lot of good teams. The thing that I'm going to make sure that we just focus on us and playing. Stop talking. There's enough talk. The players and teams that talk are the ones that usually don't have success. The players that just let their play speak for themselves are the teams that are successful. So we just want to focus. We want to focus on being a good basketball team, a team that plays hard and plays for one another, a team that our fans can respect and come out every night to enjoy watching us play.
More questions?
All right. Is that it?
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
We'll have players coming in and start.